So we'll start with our Mangalacharan prayers. Okay. Om Jnanam Timrandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागर रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सागर ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य शतारिणे। So welcome you all for our weekly Sunday class. Today we will do chapter 12. Chapter 12 title is Devotional Service, or in Sanskrit, Bhakti Yoga. In the last class, if you remember, we did this chapter 11, which was the universal form, okay, Vishwarupa, Virat Roop of the Lord, where Lord Krishna showed his Vishwaroop to Arjun, and Arjun become terrified after seeing his Vishwarupa, and then he, at the end of the chapter, requested Lord Krishna to come back in his original form, which is his human-like form, the two-handed form, the Sham Sundar Krishna form, which we see in the temple. And now chapter 12 starts with a very interesting question from Arjun. So as you know, now so far Krishna spoke about so many paths. Like he started in chapter 2 with explaining about the science of soul, and then soul is part and parcel of super soul. Give all that is the basis of starting the Bhagavad Gita, that everyone is soul, and there is no point lamenting for people who will leave this world after a certain age, after certain time, because everyone has to leave, right? So that was the, and then no one dies actually, because soul is eternal. It's just a change of the bodies at the time of death. So that knowledge we get from, then he, in chapter 2, then we speak Karma Yoga, then Gyan Yoga, Ashtang Yoga, all that. Then he explained Bhakti Yoga. And in chapter 11, he explained about his Virat Roop, which the impersonalist, those who don't believe in the form of God, Lord, they believe in worshipping or in the impersonal form. Impersonal means no form. Like they consider Lord as impersonal, okay? Because he's all pervading, right? He's all pervading, but that is one of his energies. But they consider that absolute truth is impersonal. So Arjun asked this question in the beginning of chapter 12, that which are considered to be more perfect, those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. So very clearly he asked, like, who is more perfect? Devotees who engage in worshipping you in your personal form and who render devotional service to you, like a bhakti yogi, or those who are impersonalists, those who are basically worshipping your impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested form. Actually, in reality, both are Lord Krishna only. It's just unmanifested form is one of his energies. For example, now to understand, I'll give you, like, we all are having a feature. We have two hands, mouth, everything, right? But we also had impersonal features. For example, we all have mind, but can anyone see the mind? No. We have intelligence, but can anyone see our intelligence? No. Right? Now, if someone thinks that we don't have a form because we have this intelligence mind, then that is foolishness, right? Same is the case though. Lord Krishna has his form, and his form has lot of effulgence, like effulgence which comes out. That is what is called impersonal Brahman. Like when today it's a sunny day here, so you see a lot of effulgence outside in sun, right? But when there is effulgence, there should be a source of that effulgence also, right? We can't say that because sun, there is a lot of effulgence, then effulgence is everything. There is no sun. No. Same is the case. So the impersonalists, they have this belief that Lord do not have a form because he's all pervading. And they worship the impersonal, which is Brahman. Brahman is nothing but a effulgence which comes out of Lord Krishna's transcendental spiritual body, and that Brahman, in that effulgence, all the spiritual planets are floating in the spiritual world. Okay, so very clearly, Arjun asked these, who is perfect? So now let's see what Krishna has to say. Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead says, those who fix their minds on my personal form. See here, my personal form, not impersonal form. So those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. Okay, so in this verse, he clearly says that those who are fixing their minds on my personal form, when we go to the temple, we see the Lord's personal form where he is standing in Tribhanga, Sham Sundar form, holding the flute, and there is a peacock feather on his head, and then on his left side we will see the Srimati Radharani. So that is his personal form, right? So, so he says the one who meditates on this personal form and fixes that form in their mind, and then that devotee or that transcendentalist is most perfect. Okay, so very clearly Krishna says that who concentrates upon his personal form, he is the most perfect. Now let's see what he has to say about others. Okay, so now he says, but those who worship the unmanifested. Now he's talking about the ones who worship the unmanifested, meaning who does not manifest, which means impersonal. That those who worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of senses, which lies beyond the perception of senses. We can't see that unmanifested form with our senses because it lies beyond that. The all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable. These are all the characteristics of the impersonal conception of the absolute truth. That it's all-pervading, it's not conceivable, it's not unchanging and fixed, immovable. This is the impersonal conception of absolute truth. By controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. Okay, so at last achieve me meaning down the line they won't achieve Lord Krishna immediately, but at last they will also achieve Lord Krishna. So it's a if you consider the devotional service and worship in the personal form and impersonal as two paths which are going towards two paths of spirituality going toward Lord Krishna. Now one goes directly, the one who worship personal form, shortest path. Other one may goes round, and at last they will reach their destination, but it will take time and it's difficult. For example, from someone has to go from Toronto to Montreal. Now there is direct 401 which goes, right? That is the path, fastest path, that is devotional service. Now someone may go from Toronto to New York to Dallas to Miami, and then all the way roam around whole US, and then finally he will find, okay, there is a 401 going, then he will travel. So that's a long, long route. That is the path of impersonalism. Okay. So Krishna says, at last they will also achieve me, but that is the indirect path. And if you see here, Prabhupada says there that those who do not directly worship the Supreme God Krishna, but who attempt to achieve the same goal by an indirect process, also ultimately achieve the same goal, Sri Krishna, but it takes them many, many lifetimes, many, many births, don't know how many. Okay. Ultimately, they may also come to the realization that yes, there is. So one is the direct path, one is the indirect way. Okay. So let's see further. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. Very clearly, Lord Krishna says that for them, advancement is not easy, it's very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. It's very difficult because in that path, they are relying on their own mental speculation. Like, okay, they try to understand the impersonal Brahman based on the Upanishads, on the Vedas, which talks about Brahman. Okay, then they keep speculating, okay, this is the path. So it's troublesome. Plus, in this path, uh, because it's an indirect path, lot of endeavor required from the individual. While in the path of bhakti, we are depending on the mercy of Lord Krishna. We are depending on mercy of Guru, Sadhu, Vaishnava, Krishna. A lot of kripa, mercy is what is coming, and we have full faith in Lord Krishna. And this is a direct path, we are trying to establish some relationship with the Lord, loving relationship, which we already had, just trying to revive that. So more personal, right? And Krishna reciprocates. Krishna says, "Ye yatha mam prapadyante," that whatever, like in whatever capacity, on whatever endeavor, whatever how you try to approach Krishna, Krishna reciprocates that. Okay, let's go. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Okay, so very clearly this is Krishna saying that those who worship me, like the Bhakti Yogi, the one who is practicing Bhakti Yoga, and everything they give up their activities unto me. All their activities are directed towards me, and their devotion is directed towards me without deviation, no deviation. Not that today we are worshipping Lord Krishna, tomorrow we worship some other, third day some other. No, that is not without deviation. So without deviation means one pointed attention. We are okay, full faith, no other thing. So being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, always meditating, then for them I am the swift deliverer. Krishna takes the responsibility, right? Krishna takes the charge of that devotee, and he takes upon himself that I need to deliver this soul and I need to get this soul back to the spiritual world. All we have to do is depend on him. Like a baby, small baby, right? He completely depends on his mother and parents to give him everything. Does not do that. Is how the Bhakti yogis, he considers himself helpless. Oh, I have no capability to do anything. It's all Krishna's thing. Let me completely depend on Krishna, right? And then Krishna delivers that person, because what other day I was reading this what do you call, a quote from His Holiness Sri Radha Govind Swami Maharaj. He says, all the people in this world are worrying about where where the food will come, what will happen to my old age. Okay, I will have this, let me plan, because they still don't have that full faith. They are thinking that it's me who is running the family, my family, it's me. If something happens to me, what will happen to my family, all that. But they don't understand that. He gives a very nice example. When we were in the womb, in the helpless situation, hanging upside down, then it was Lord Krishna in the womb who was giving all the nourishment, who was giving all the assurance, and the baby at that, it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam around the 7th month, he remembers all his past birth, and he prays to Lord Krishna in helpless situation that please take me out of this pathetic situation. and I promise you that I will perform your bhajan in this lifetime, right? So it was just because he's in personal contact with Krishna that he is able to sustain. Otherwise, it's not possible. One can simply die. So if he was saying that if Krishna will protect every living entity in that helpless situation, so why do we think he will not take care of us in old age or in any situation, right? He will definitely, but it just requires our faith that yes, he will take care of us. If he's taking care of all the living entities, like so many animals, elephant eats tons of food every day and still it doesn't go hungry, then we just need to eat two chapati, rice, dal. How can one go hungry? He will definitely provide. So that kind of faith is required from us on Krishna. So Krishna, what he advises, he says, just fix upon your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt. So just fix your mind, your intelligence in me, which means keep me as a focus in your life. Like you may do n number of things, but if the focus is on Lord Krishna and his devotional service, then whatever we do will be directed towards the Lord. Like we will always keep that in the mind, and then also engage all your intelligence on me, in me. So Lord has given all of us intelligence to think, intelligence to understand, because I cannot explain this subject matter to animals, right? So that is the nature of humans, that they have given a higher intelligence to understand this Bhagavad Gita. So use that intelligence nicely and use this intelligence in understanding and then applying this in our lives. So that is what it means. Engage all your intelligence in me. Don't engage your intelligence on how I can become more and more and more rich, because that is not the correct use of that intelligence which Lord has provided. The humans have given a specific purpose. The body has a purpose. That how I can use my intelligence to reestablish my relationship with the eternal Supreme Lord, and how I can go back and escape from the cycle of birth and death. That is the whole purpose of giving this human form. Otherwise, it's a waste of human life. And this human is life is very rare. After 8.4 million species, when one revolves, then one gets this chance to take birth in the human form of life. And amongst human, it's even more rare to be born and get the association of devotees, get the sadhu sangha, which we are having now, right? It's very rare again to get the association of devotees, to get that intelligence that yes, I have to understand spirituality, I have to understand who am I, what is my relationship with the Lord, what I am doing here, where I am going, all these questions. Very few will have this. Otherwise, everyone is just kind of wasting their human life in just rat race. Like, okay, how I can make more money, how I can have bigger house, how can I plan for my children, for my grandchildren, all that. That even animals will do. Animal will also make their nice home. They also care for their children. All that, they also get the food for their children. They also do. But what differentiates us from animals is that we have given this higher intelligence, higher purpose, the body, to perform devotional service. So that is what we have to use it for. Okay. Okay, let's go further. My dear Arjun, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Now Krishna will talk about, you can say, he starts with the topmost and then he will go down like, okay, engage your mind upon me, engage your intelligence in me completely, give your life to me. That's you will live in me always without doubt. Now, if you can't do this, at least if you cannot fix your mind upon me, then at least follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. What are the principles of Bhakti Yoga? No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. Four regulative principles. And then every day perform chanting. These are the regulative principles, 4 regulative principles which devotee practice in their life. And then on top, everything is austerity, right? Our mind is in the beginning is not like it does not get pleasure in chanting. We have to control the mind. So all this. So follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. And in this way, develop a desire. By following this, you will develop a desire to attain me. Like the desire will not be there in the beginning, but definitely by following, and when your senses are purified, then you will definitely have the desire. Okay, though Prabhupada says here that this love of God is not now in a dormant state in everyone's heart, and their love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by material association. Now the heart has to be purified of material association, and that dormant natural love for Krishna has to be revived. That is the whole process. This is the process. And to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. What are those principles? One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple, offer prayers, chant Hare Krishna, collect flowers to offer to deities, cook foodstuff to offer the deity, take prasadam, so on. These are various rules and regulations one should follow. And one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And this practice can help one to rise to the love of God, and then he's sure of his progress in the spiritual kingdom. Okay, so this is the, he say, if you can't fix your mind upon me without deviation, then at least follow these principles. Further down, he say, okay, if you cannot even follow these rules of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Okay, so then please just work for me. At least from karma side, just work for me. You can't do Bhakti Yoga, okay, no problem. Do Karma Yoga. Karma, try to approach me and work for me. Okay, so that is the message. So here Prabhupada says how to do this work has already been described in 55th verse of 11th chapter, that one should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaging in propagation and they require help. So how one can work? Like if you directly cannot worship me, like sometimes when we go to the people, they say, I have no time to come to the temple. I have no time. But here is the money, take $1,000 and you do this on my behalf. And we take that. So that is what it is like. At least be sympathetic, be appreciative of the people who are doing and help them. So that is what it is. Work for me, right? Many times it happens in books distribution. People say, okay, I don't have time to distribute books myself, but here, take $200 and distribute Bhagavad Gita on my behalf. So that is what it is. Work for me, like at least help devotees who are already doing it. So they will also get benefit, but again, this is the indirect benefit. Similarly, if one has sufficient money, he can help in building and temple for propagating Krishna. He can help with publication. There are so many, Prabhupada says, various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. Okay, so let's go further. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So now Krishna is going one further down. He say, if you can't work for me in that consciousness, at least give up the results of your work. Don't be attached to your results of your work and try to be self-situated. Just what you call like, just don't get attached. This is called Nishkam Karma. Nishkam Karma, you are attached to the work, but don't be attached to the results of your work and give up all your results of your work and try to be self-situated. Okay. Because at least by doing this, he is kind of helpfully acting in what you call selflessly, right? So his mind will become purified and ultimately he will come to this path, practice path and karma yoga, and then gradually it will go. Further down, he will say, okay, if you can't do If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. So that means if you are not able to even do this, that giving up the results of your work, then what can be done? Then just engage in the cultivation of knowledge, which means go to the Gyan Marg now. This is Gyan Marg, the cultivation. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can achieve peace of mind. So say if you cannot practice, then at least engage, cultivate knowledge, and just read about me, read the scriptures, and cultivate that knowledge. But he says that better than knowledge is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of fruits. And further, he says, one who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness, distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So now, from verse 13 onwards, Krishna will tell who is very dear. So he's giving the qualities of a devotee, topmost devotee, who is very, very dear to him. That he's not envious from anyone. He's a he's a kind friend to all living entities, not just humans, even animals, plants. He's very, very, you can say, compassionate to all living entities. He cannot harm anyone, and he's not envious. No matter what other can do to him, he does not care. But he does not cultivate or have any envy, any hatred, any thing for others, right? And that is the first quality, that non-enviousness and very kind-hearted to all living entities, very compassionate. Second quality, does not think himself as a proprietor. So whatever happens, it all is happening because of the will of the Lord. He does not consider himself that I am doing. Sometimes people boast about themselves. Okay, I built this big temple, or I am doing this, I am being a president and doing this. No, it's just that Krishna is giving you the ability and using you as a medium to do it. Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. The moment he stops your air, life air, you can't even take breathe independently, right? So that is our situation. We are completely dependent on our means. And sometimes people have this false pride, false ego that, yeah, things are happening because of me. To tomorrow I am not there, things may not happen. But one should understand that nobody is here proprietor. It's the ultimate Lord who is the proprietor. So, so the sign of devotee is who does not think himself as a proprietor and is free from false ego. False ego is when we think that we are the body, and then it's because of me, this thing is happening because of me. Uh, my family is like, I am the breadwinner of my family. I am helping this, they, all that. No. One day I was hearing other guy, one person came to one highly elevated saint, and he was saying that I feel sometimes I help so many people in different ways, but when it's my turn to ask favor, those people just go away. So that saint told him that you are thinking that you are helping those people, but it's not you. Just think that Krishna is using you as a medium and giving you an opportunity to help others, right? So you are nothing. You are you are simply like a puppet. So be content that Lord Krishna is giving you that opportunity, that you are able to help others. Now, if others are not able to help, that's fine. Depend on Lord Krishna. Why you are depending on others to help you? Instead, depend on your eternal Father, this is Lord Krishna. And if you need help, ask help from him, and definitely he will send someone. That should be the attitude. We should not think that I am doing this for that person, I am doing the favor for that person. We should always think, if I am able to help someone in his time of need, it's Krishna who has given me this ability and using me as a medium. I am nothing. I have nothing, no capability to do anything on independently. So that is what is free from false ego means, not considering himself as a proprietor. No, that I am not even the owner of my home. I am just a temporary proprietor, maybe for 40 years. After that, the home will remain here, but I need to go. So ultimate proprietor is Lord Krishna. Again, next, who is equal in both happiness and distress. And again, very great quality of devotee. This is material happiness and distress. So material happiness and distress comes and go. It's like a season, come and go. So the one who is equipoised and do not become too jubilated. Oh, today I have so much happy, and then when the distress comes, he completely goes down and becomes dejected, and oh, my whole world comes to an end. All that. No, he's equipoised in both happiness and distress because he derives that spiritual happiness not from internally, from associating with devotees, from worshipping Lord Krishna. So that happiness is there. So he's always equipoised. Who is tolerant? Tolerant. Tolerant is very great quality. Tolerance. In one verse, I think, if I recall, yeah, I think not here. Prabhupada gives the definition of tolerant. Tolerant is someone who, even if someone says you bad words, you should be able to not retaliate back. That is what tolerance means, like able to take even the insult. That is what tolerant is, right? One is who is tolerant. I think it was in chapter 13. Let me see. Yeah, here. Here also, chapter 13, also this tolerance comes here word. And if I see here, Prabhupada gives very nice example here. Tolerance means that one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. If one is engaged in the advancement of spiritual knowledge, there will be so many insults and much dishonor from others. This is expected because material nature is so constituted. Even a boy like Prahlad, who only 5 years old, was engaged in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, was endangered when his father became antagonist to his devotion. The father tried to kill him in so many ways, but Prahlad tolerated him. So there may be many impediments to making advancement in spiritual knowledge, but we should be tolerant and continue our progress with determination. That is what it means. If this means like one should be ready to bear insult on the path of devotion service and also dishonor from others. If one can practice this, then all the problems which we had completely vanishes because you will not feel like you will not feel bad when someone insults one, right? Insults you for that matter, and nothing happens for without a reason, right? We should always even think if someone is trying to correct me or trying to do something. Again, this is a Lord Krishna's way of teaching me, or Lord Krishna's way of showing me or diluting my false ego. Because when someone insults other, why we feel bad? Because our false ego within us gets attacked immediately. The people who have thick false ego, they get irritated, they get agitated very quickly. Even on a slight pretext, like if you say something, they will immediately become agitated and retaliate. People who have thin, less ego, very thin, they don't get easily dejected, like they don't get disturbed or they don't get angry very easily, right? And then topmost devotees, you may say anything, they don't care, like because they completely dependent on Lord Krishna. For them, everyone is part and parcel of Lord Krishna. They see Krishna in everyone. So if someone is saying something, they say, oh, maybe Krishna is sending this person to teach me something. Let me take it positively, right? So that is the attitude of devotees. That is how one should take. Other way is when someone is insulting us or saying something to us, we should think and we should be thankful to that person because by doing that, he is cutting our bad karmas. So it could be that because of our previous bad karmas, we were supposed to suffer, let's say, some big disease or some accident or something. And Krishna is so kind that he's sending this person, and this person is insulting me in front of XYZ. And by doing that, he's cutting my bad karma. So I was supposed to get a bad reaction, maybe accident or thinking or illness. Now this person is coming and cutting that bad karma by saying some words and let me just take it. At least my bad karmas are going away. So we should be like thankful to Krishna and that person who is doing that. That is tolerance. Okay. And if we practice that, then we will not get agitated or not get irritated, and we will not cultivate or have grudge for anyone in our lives. Right? Understand that everything which is happening for a reason. Nothing happens without a reason. So we would, yeah, tolerant. So that is tolerant. Another quality, always satisfied. Contentment is very, very essential for a devotee. Always satisfied. No hankering, no lamentation. Oh, I would have done this better in life, or no material hankering or lamentation. Whatever Lord Krishna has given you is good enough for you and is sufficient for you to lead your lives. So one should be content in whatever is provided materially. If you have a 3-bedroom house or 2-bedroom house, at least you have a house. There are people who don't even have a house. So let it content. In the other part of the world where the war is going, people are losing their house. They don't even have meals. So we should be thankful to the Lord that at least we are able to get 3 meals, a house, and some peace, and we are able to practice. So we should always be grateful and thankful and remain satisfied. Because if you are not satisfied, your mind will always be agitated and hankering for more and more. Oh, let me have a bigger house, or let me have even beyond your means. Sometimes people go, and then you fall in the trap. You fell in the trap of Maya, where now you will feel so much distressed because you have to pay mortgage and you have to pay loans and all that, right? Today, if you recall, those who are in GTA can easily understand this, that there was a time just 2 years back when so many people were buying houses left and right, like during COVID time, because interest rates were all low and people were buying houses. Okay, one has one house, another house, two houses, third house, fourth house, like that. And now all of a sudden, within the 1 year, interest rates has gone so high, and all those properties are fallen down. So the same people who were buying houses now are repenting, or kind of in a difficult situation where they are unable to meet those expenses now. So many people are there, like, who are kind of in a so tough situation, because at that time they did not was satisfied, and they were trying to become greedy to get quick money, or whatever was the reason, right? So again, this is a trap of Maya Devi, that if you are not satisfied, hankering for more and more, sometimes you fall in a trap that, oh, then you become distressed. That is the nature of devotee. Devotee does not care as long as he has basic necessities. There is nothing for him to accumulate more and more. What for, right? Because the more material, what you call things, bring more miseries. If devotee does not have anything to lose, there is no misery. If you have so many things, then there is always a fear. Okay, I can lose this. I will incur loss on this. I can incur this. So remain free from miseries. Just save enough for the time in distress, but don't be too much greedy to accumulate too much stuff, too much thing. Because Krishna says, no matter how much you endeavor or how much you accumulate, you cannot enjoy an iota of more happiness than what is already there in your quota. Always believe, understand that whatever is given in my quota, no matter what happens, I will get that. No one can take away from there. And whatever is not in my quota, no matter how hard I can try, I will not get that. So sometimes people accumulate so much money from one side and other side, some health problem comes or some legal trouble comes, and then money just goes away, right? So what was the use to accumulate so much? If so, always remain satisfied. Contentment is again the quality, and Krishna becomes pleased one who is satisfied with whatever comes by. Here, he's satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of Lord. He does not endeavor much to achieve something with great difficulty. Therefore, he's always joyful, right? So whatever comes by own means, whatever Krishna gives, remain satisfied. Don't be over endeavor or hanker for more and more and more. Because at the end of the day, one will need only 6 feet bed to sleep. Right? Even if you have now a big hall, again, you will be more worried if you have a lot of mortgage to pay and you don't have money. So you will lose your sleep also, right? So this reminds me of one nice pastime with Prabhupada. So once Prabhupada was in New Delhi, and this rich man, very rich man, came to Prabhupada, and he said, Prabhupada, I have so much, everything I have. Like he was very rich, very well established. I have so much richness. I have so many factories, so much this, so many employees working under me. But at night, I am not able to sleep nicely. So can you help me? Prabhupada says, yes, I can help you. So Prabhupada told him that, okay, give me, I will take care of you. He told his secretary to take his number. Prabhupada says, I will make sure that I use your money in the service of Krishna, and I will take a portion of your wealth to engage in the service of Krishna, because you have too much to handle yourself, and that is the reason you are not getting money. And when that would be engaged, then you will have a peaceful sleep. So like that, he told that person to give his number to secretary, and that person was now in dilemma. Like he was saying, no, Prabhupada, I'm okay. I will not like I will not I can manage, because he was reluctant. So he's like having too much, but he's not willing to give it for the good cause. So like that Prabhupada told. So too much material things actually bring more misery. And now even scientists or materialists, like people who do these surveys, right, about the happiness index and all that, they also now says like, okay, they came up with certain number that if a household income is this much in Canada, then they are good. If it too much, then also it brings misery. If it is too less, then also it brings misery. So one should be satisfied with whatever one has. Self-controlled. Self-controlling meaning just controlling your senses, controlling your have a control on yourself. That is what it is. Self-control. Senses are controlled, right? And then last would be engage in devotion service with determination. So one who can practice this, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee is very dear to me. This is the topmost devotee. Okay, very dear to Lord Krishna, this devotee. Now let's see who else is very dear. He by whom no one is put into difficulties, who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness, distress, fear, anxiety, is very dear to me. Again, a good quality. We need to be careful in our life that nobody should be put into difficulty because of us. We should not harm anyone, not by the words, not by actions, not by anything, right? So very careful, like, because Krishna will not be pleased if someone is hurt by us. So we should, even unknowingly, if we think someone has been hurt by our words, we should immediately ask for forgiveness, right? So one who is not, by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone. Another quality is he is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised. Krishna is repeating this thing, equipoisedness. Here also he's saying, who is equal in happiness and distress. Again, here, who is equipoised in happiness and distress. Fear and anxiety, very dear to me. Okay. So this is again a great quality. A devotee's qualification. No one is put into difficulty, anxiety, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction by a devotee. Because he is very kind to everyone. So how can a devotee who is so kind can put others to a distress? He cannot even think of putting a mosquito to distress. Prabhupada used to say, even when the mosquito comes, you just move away. Like even when the small ant or anything comes, we don't kill that ant, because that ant also, we are no right to take their life. We can simply, if an insect comes, take them on a piece of paper and then let them throw outside our home. Spider comes, all this small thing comes. Many times people without thinking just smash them and take their lives. No. So devotee is so compassionate that he does not want anyone to feel put into difficulty. And and equipoised in happiness and distress. So that devotee is very dear to him. Krishna says. Okay, let's see further. My devotee who is not dependent on ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, very dear to me. Now Krishna is glorifying his devotees. See here, money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. If automatically by the grace of Supreme money comes to him, he is not agitated. This is the quality of devotee. It's not that tomorrow, by the grace of Lord, you get so many dollars, immediately you go on a shopping spree or you become elated or let me buy a expensive car or this, that. No, simply remains equipoised. He says, this is by the grace of Lord comes. Whatever I need, I'll use it. But other than that, I will use it in the service of Krishna because through his grace, this came. Right? So this is the purity. Purity is also important. Purity by mind, purity by body. Like when we take bath every day one should take bath in the morning and remain in a purified state. Because when one is not purified, then obviously his consciousness also gets contaminated. Earlier, if you recall, a couple of generations back, like your grandmother, they always have this purification. Like today, I see when one attends the nature's call and goes to the washroom, people don't actually know how one should remain purified, like what one should do, right? When one attends the nature's call. So this is all given in our scriptures that one should remain purified. Because with the unpurified state, your consciousness will become unpurified, and then you will not be able to think about the Lord Krishna with unpurified thing. So purification, remaining pure is very important. Okay. And expert, he's fully expert, is always expert because he knows the essence of all activities of life and convinced about the scriptures. Without cares means he never takes part of a particular part. They were carefree. He's carefree. He does not worry about what's going on in the material world. Whether this political party comes or that political party comes or this comes or that comes, doesn't much bother. Free from all pains. He's never pained because he's free from all designation. He knows that his body is a designation. So if there are bodily pains, he's free. That's why you will see the topmost devotees, even though there is so much pain, bodily pain because of old age disease, they continue preaching, they continue practicing because they know this pain is at the bodily level. But they have so much spiritual strength that they continue doing the service in the service of Lord Krishna and not striving for some result. So Prabhupada says, the pure devotee does not endeavor for anything which is against the principle of devotion service. For example, constructing a big building requires great energy, and devotee does not take to such business if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple of Lord, and for that he may take all kinds of anxiety, but he does not construct a big house for his personal relations. Okay, that is what it means, not striving for some personal result. Like devotee can take all anxiety, all pain for building a temple of the Lord, big temple of the Lord. But for building or constructing a house for himself, it doesn't buy. What is the use? Because the temple of the Lord will remain there for generations and generation. Even when we go, like say we build this temple in ISKCON Milton, right? Now after we are gone, after 30, 40 years, the temple will still remain. For next, it will remain, eternally remain. But if we build, let's say, instead of temple, a big house for ourselves, what is the use? Because at the end of the day, if you are working, you are only going there throughout the day. You are at what do you call in office. At night, you go and sleep. And after 30, 40 years, anyway, you have to leave. You will be forcefully kicked out of your beautiful house when the time comes. So no point in just investing unnecessarily or wasting your energy. Whatever you need comfortably, just have that Krishna will anyway will provide you. So no need to over endeavor. Okay, and then further he says, one who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. So again, third time he says, who never rejoices or nor grieves. Why is he saying that? Because this is how the material people are, people in this world are. The moment some problem comes, people become so grieved. They lose complete their faith on the Lord. They go to this Pandit, that Pandit, show this, that, try to do so many things. But they don't know like this is a phase. One has to bear the results of previous karmas. So one should just let that phase go and have faith on the Lord, who neither laments nor desire. This is again, lamenting means whatever has happened. Now lamenting on the things which already happened, no point, because you can't bring back whatever has happened. And desire, the desire is the root cause of why one laments, because when we desire too much, we try to achieve that. And sometimes when we are not able to achieve that, then we lament. Sometimes when we acquire and we lose, then also we lament. Right? So this is the nature of this material world, lamentation and desiring more and more. But one who never lament nor desire, he remains satisfied, peaceful, because he has nothing to lose. Whatever is there, is there for the grace of Lord. Now, if Lord wants that to take away, let it be. If Lord wants me to give more, okay, that's fine. I will use it again in the service of Lord. I think for me, whatever I need, Lord is already providing. So what is the need for lamentation? And that way, if you think, then your life will be very peaceful, no pressure on you. Like one principle, if you can put in your head that whatever is destined for me, no matter, I will get that. Prahlad Maharaj gives very nice thing, like nobody asks for uh, stress or distress, right? But still the distresses comes automatically. Same way, without even asking for good things, material things, they will come. This is all there in one's quota. Material things, 6 things are fixed. I think I mentioned before: birth, death, your honor, dishonor, and then your dukh. Dukh means distress, and happiness. Material happiness, material distress, all are fixed. You can't change, and nobody can change. So only thing which can be changed is when one surrenders to the Lord, then Krishna has that power to change that, your position. But otherwise, it's all governed by nature. It's all coming through your karma cycle. So one has to suffer for some karmas previously, and one has to enjoy. So, so yeah. And who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. Read the purpose of this and again, just put it into your head, and then believe me, your life will be very peaceful. At least there will be no pressure on you. Once you understand that and then believe that yes, whatever is there for me, I will get it. What was the need for me to hanker more and more, right? Instead, let me use my energy, let me use my intelligence in practicing devotion service, because all of us have 24 hours. Out of 24 hours, 8 9 hours goes in the work, and remaining hours, 6 7 hours goes in sleep. So at the end, we just left with few hours for ourselves, for family. Now those are also, if we spend in thinking how I can increase my material position, how I can increase my bank balance, then your mind will be preoccupied with those thoughts, and that is what will drag you away from Krishna, and that is what Maya will allure you. Maya always have this nature to try to allure you and keep you here, because that is a job which was given to Maya Devi by Krishna, to keep people uh, in the fancy illusion of this material world, and throughout the life they keep accumulating, and at the end, suddenly the time comes and person has to leave the world. So whatever he accumulated throughout life remains here. It's like the same story of honeybee, right? Honeybee keeps accumulating so much honey, without realizing. And then one day, those people come and then they smash and then get that honey. And then whatever she accumulated for years, a year, just were taken away in a minute. Yeah. Okay, last two. One who is equal to friends and enemies. Very important. One who is equal to friends and who is equipoised in is honor, dishonor. Again, Krishna telling fourth time about being equipoised. Same, that who is equal to friends and enemies, who equipoised in honor, dishonor, meaning if someone is praising you, don't become too elated. Oh, and don't think that, oh, I am the doer, I am this, that. Oh, so much, everyone is giving me so much honor and this, that, and you go on a cloud nine. No. Same, if someone is dishonoring you, don't become too much dejected, don't become disheartened. Remain equipoised in honor and dishonor. And Krishna shows by his own example. When he was present, so many people dishonor him. Shishupal, Duryodhan, all these people were used to dishonor. He remains equipoised, did not say anything. He gave promise to Shishupal's mother that I will not say anything to Shishupal. He was his maternal cousin from for 1900 things I will not say, and 101 he will be gone. So he abused him 100 times and 101, then Krishna just invoked the Sudarshan Chakra and killed Shishupal. But that was also Krishna's way. It's not that Krishna has envy for Shishupal or not. That was a Leela. So after Shishupal's head was chopped, he went to the spiritual world and resumed his position as Vijay. Like this Jay Vijay were two great keepers in Vishnu Loka. So they appeared as Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksh, Raman, and Kumbhakarna, and then Shishupal and Dantavakra in difference, because they were given this 3 times they have to take part in Krishna Leela, Lord, and all the Leelas, they were the ones who were fighting with the Lord and giving him the Virya Ras, the chivalry, right? So it was a Leela. But again, for us, the learning is we should be equipoised in honor, dishonor. I know it's very difficult when someone is getting dishonored in front of either in private or others, but with practice and with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, one can absorb that. And believe me, the heat which is produced when one is getting that dishonor, there is a heat which gets generated, which is the one which agitates us and makes us retaliate. If we can bear that heat, then that heat is the one which will purify our false ego and dilute that false ego quickly, and then we become eligible to go to the spiritual world faster. And Krishna becomes pleased. But sometimes it's with the devotees, it's Krishna's will or Krishna's way of teaching how to bear, how to dilute. So we should think, if I'm able to bear the dishonor, that means my false ego is going down. One retaliates because of the false ego, which is there in everyone, as I was telling. If false ego is thick, you will feel very quickly agitated and will retaliate. You can't bear. False ego is very thin. You will be able to tolerate to an extent, but again, there could be chance. If false ego is almost gone, then you are able to bear the dishonor also, and then you will not feel that pain. But if someone can bear that pain for dishonor, that pain is the one which makes one great in the eyes of Lord Krishna, and one becomes eligible. Krishna is saying here that that devotee is very dear to me. One who is equal to friends and enemies, equipoised in honor, dishonor, heat and cold, happiness, distress. Again, Krishna talks about happiness, distress 4 times in these verses. Fame and infamy. Sometimes we get fame, yash, apyash. Both times we have to remain equipoised. Who is always free from contaminating association. We should be free from contaminating association, meaning not associate with materialistically inclined people. Remain free from there, like, because we are not yet there. We are practicing devotees. We have not attained that perfection. So there is every chance we can get swayed away by the thoughts of materialistic people. Like if you sit with someone for an hour and that person all he talks about how I can make more money, how I can do this is, then definitely your consciousness will get impacted, and you will at least for a few days be thinking on those lines, right? So that is what is called contaminating association, or association which can contaminate you. Like for example, if you sit with some drunkard person and you start associating with him, very soon you will also start drinking. Very natural. That is how in the teenagers, how the innocent young people who go to the children university college starts in these bad habits by the contaminating association. Okay, always silent and satisfied with anything. Again, silent and satisfied with anything. Very important. Like remain silent and satisfied with anything. Whatever happens, happening because of the will of the Lord. So he remains silent and content. It's very good to read all this purport Prabhupada, right? Who does not care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. So you see, like who all are dear to Krishna, one who possesses these qualities. And we don't have to endeavor to get these qualities because these qualities automatically come when one practices devotional service. It's a remnant, like after effects. One of the effects of Bhakti Yoga is that one gets all these qualities automatically. And finally, last verse, those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. This is the conclusion of this chapter, devotional service, that here Krishna says very, very dear to me. Now, superlative. Before that, he was saying very dear to me. He uses the word ativa, meaning very, very dear. Now, that devotee who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engages themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal. In his life, attaining Krishna, Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's this thing is the supreme goal. Nothing for me, everything for Krishna. That is devotee is very, very dear to Krishna, not Krishna. And all of us wants to be dear to Krishna, so we definitely have to read these verses again and again and internalize these verses. And when the situation comes, think about these verses. When the tough situation comes, think about these verses. Take shelter of these verses that Krishna has spoken these words. Let me take shelter of these verses. And that will give you so much comfort, so much solace, thinking that yes, by my actions, by doing in this way, by bearing the insult or by bearing the times of distress or difficult times, let it go. Let me not get carried away. That way, Krishna will become pleased. Okay, so in life of devotee, when one is a path, situation comes, there are always two paths. One takes us away from Krishna, one takes keeps us on the track of Krishna. So with our intelligence, we have always has to choose the path which keeps us on track in association of devotees towards Krishna. Because Maya Devi will always come. He will test. I'll give you few example. Like sometimes, let's say your life is going smooth, you are able to chant nicely, able to devote, you are able to earn enough. Now suddenly an opportunity will come. Someone will offer you a job, maybe 20, 30, 40K more. But then in that job, you may have to travel every day to, let's say, 60 kilometers, or more trouble, more distress, more work. So now you have two options: either remain in your job, which you are expert now, you have established yourself, you are in your comfort zone, you know you have been there, and devote your time, the time which you are saving in Krishna in association. Or you have a job, take that extra 30K money, but that you are losing your free time which you are used to have, because nobody is will pay you extra just like that, right? They will expect you that much more out of you. Remember, if someone is giving you 30K more, then he will expect 90K to be made out of you. Like, all of us are here working like that. So it's a choice. So time is the essence. Like time, we cannot get back time from anywhere by even by spending millions of dollars. The time which has gone, time is of very essence here. So in that situation, if one chooses the job which is more demanding, takes more time to commute, and then he loses his peace of mind, and then he's day and night working. Situation comes, even though he's getting 30K more, but he loses his taste for chanting. He's not able to come to the temple, not able to even meet with devotees. What is the use, right? So Maya Devi has allured that person, and now that person is moving away. And very soon you will see that person will further go deep and deep, and then it may happen completely. He stops doing all devotional service. So in that, always follow what is right for me, so that I remain connected with Krishna consciousness, remain connected with devotees, and my materialistic life should be easy. Like I should not be struggling in earning. So sometimes in material world, say come go out of your comfort zone, right? That is the way of how materialistic people think. Go out of your comfort zone and try to devote. But how devotees feel, if I am in a comfort position and able to earn sufficient, why I should make my life hell or come go out of that comfort zone? Instead, whatever time is saved, I should use in the service of the Lord. That is the thought of intelligent devotee, intelligent person, right? If by working 3 4 hours you are able to finish your work because you are expert in your work, so for others, it may take 8 hours, but you are able to finish 5 hours. So enjoy that 3 hours extra thing, right? And then engage that extra 3 hours in reading Bhagavad Gita, in reading Shastra, in engaging devotional service. Why you have to again kind of take more work and more this thing on and this that all that thing. So other things sometimes it may happen. Maya Devi will give allurement. Okay, you have a decent house, good enough, comfortable enough, and you are able to go to the temple. Now, situation may come, someone will say, come in like, oh, let me get you a big house, but that house is so far that you can't come to the temple, you can't meet devotees, you are alone, right? And if you pick that, then you are losing on the association of devotees. You may be now the temple is 1.5 hours away from where that remote place is, where the houses are cheaper. So now you can't go to the temple every week, right? So you lose this enthusiasm because when we go to the temple, when we hear Bhagavad Gita, our enthusiasm increases. The moment we go away, enthusiasm keeps decreasing because we are not at that stage where we constantly get that enthusiasm from within. Like even the devotees, Prabhupada, they also have to, everyone has to engage in devotional service. And that 2 to 3 hours of time, 2 hours of time, one should preserve for himself to engage, not let that go away. So all this allurements comes from Maya Devi time to time, particularly for devotees also. So she wants to test whether this devotee is really, really genuine and serious or is just there. So the one who falls trap in that, then their life becomes difficult, like it becomes difficult, and then they say how to balance spiritual life and material life. All this question comes, right? But for one who chooses always the path which is favorable for devotional service for Krishna, for him is always two option. He will always choose that one which goes towards Krishna. He will not choose the one which takes him away from Krishna, from away from devotees, away from temple. No, even if I can get a 10,000 square foot house remotely, but there is no association of devotees, no temple, what's the use in living that house? I can't invite devotees there, so no use. So like that, one should think. Okay. Any questions? I think this was a very important chapter and Krishna explains nicely, even though this chapter is 20 verses. But this is one of the most important chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna clearly glorifies devotional service, his devotees, and also glorifies devotees who have all these qualities. And he says, these are very, very dear to me. Any comments, question? I think today we will not be able to do that pastimes because we are already 11:43. But next time we will start with those pastimes. Uh, and I will request you to read the purpose of this chapter one more time by yourself. And whenever you are feeling or you have a difficult time in your life or you are feeling low, take shelter of these verses and read them again. And that will give motivation to remain engaged in devotional service by just thinking that by doing this, I am actually pleasing Krishna and Krishna is becoming pleased by me and I am becoming more and more dearer to him, right? That feeling will give you strength to continue on the devotional service.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Tejal ji.
Prabhuji, I have a question. I just want to know that what are the other pastimes that I could read? Like I'm reading with him with Sanath right now, the books, but any other
No,
suggestions?
Krishna book is the one. I think if you finish Krishna book, that has all the pastimes.
Or,
Like, We had
Okay.
Lord, sorry. It is basically the Krishna book is nothing but the summary of 10th canto, which has all the pastimes of Lord. So once you
So we,
finish Krishna book, then let me know. Then there are few more, but those are what you call not for children. Like yeah, but there are few more. But first
yeah,
there is book,
we
like
have
there is
started.
Gopal
We,
Champu, there is Anand Vrindavan Champu. These are the books from Jiva Goswami, which list down further pastimes about Lord Krishna, which may not be there in Srimad Bhagavatam Krishna book. So these are two more, Gopal Champu and Anand Vrindavan Champu. But you will get these books only in India. They are not available.
because we have completed all the four. We have been through them. We have read them.
Oh, you have already completed Krishna book.
Yeah, but I really want to go. So what I'll do is I'll start all over again.
Hmm.
So we'll get more clarification
Yes,
again and again because that's how we remember, right?
yes, 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 yes.
That's what we'll start all over again, Prabhuji. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
So you can also, Mataji, you can use the expanded version, right? I think
Yeah.
you are
Nowadays,
referring to the four books that kids book, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Prabhuji. Yeah, yeah. Expanded version. Okay. I don't know about that, Prabhuji.
So there is one which is the Krishna book with which is meant for kids, which you are referring to, four books, which has pictures and all that nice glossy. And
Yes.
there is another Krishna book which was meant for adults, which has 90 stories, 90 pastimes. So not all those 90 are in the one which you are reading. So now maybe you can reading the one which is standard, like which is not for adults one. So and
Mm-hmm.
read the ones pastimes from that one which are not there in your version. That's what it
I
is.
see. Okay. 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 So is that available or do I have to like
Yeah,
just
it's
go?
available. You can get it from temple. We had those copies. Let me
Oh, really?
show you. Like even on internet is there.
Okay. Sure. Please. Thank you. Thank you, Venkat Prabhu.
Yeah. So in if you go here library, this is the one Krishna book. 90 stories, right? Chapter 1 to 90. This is the one, 90 stories. So not all 90 are there in the one version which you have. Maybe you like the ones which are appropriate for children are there, but you can even read from now this one. Killing the demons, Aghasur, Vatsasur, Nakhisur, Prayer of God, all this.
Prabhuji,
So
can you
for
please
Sanat
send me the
village,
link on this
Mataji,
one?
this book is best. Yeah.
Where exactly should I go, Prabhuji, or could you able to please send me the link?
Yeah,
Yeah, with this specific one,
yeah, I can send you.
Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. I would be confused. So sorry.
So today, if you're coming temple, we can give you that Krishna book, the one which I was referring, this link also, and then the
Okay.
hard copy version also, and we have that.